Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our information session on the window of opportunity. First up, I'd like to introduce Burrower, who will outline this amazing idea.
Thank you for that, Jennifer. My name is Burrower Mohammed, and I'm the chairman here of the board here at Window of Opportunity. We've called this forum to present to you, the greater community, the state of derelict and abandoned buildings and sites encompassing inner Melbourne and going forward. Under the new use it or lose it policy, Window of Opportunity is given the right to develop said locations. Whilst there are no definitive statistics available, the increasing number of abandoned structures has culminated the City as Ours Squatters Guide to Melbourne website, which has popularly advised squatters moving into the many derelict buildings enveloping inner Melbourne and the CBD. Here are some examples of infamous derelict sites. The image shown atop is the aftermath of the Swanston Street wall collapse that took the lives of 3 people last year. To your bottom left are the confinements of the abandoned 567 Collins Street site, and the bottom right illustrates the inside of the seemingly nice old Argus building on the corner of Latrobe Street and Elizabeth Street. Whilst these sites have been masked from public scrutiny, their existence is still very much real, and, as can be seen from the images in front of you, as to are their corresponding issues. Andy Griffith's novel has taught us that a treehouse is not the wacky contraptions that it harbours, but instead the safe haven said contraptions induce. Here at Window of Opportunity, our vision is to provide an implementable safe haven. We want the community to be safe from everyday life, but also from dangers such as unstable sites, ridicule, prying eyes, judgment, and the like. I'd like to now welcome Gianna to tell you a little bit more about how our design will provide said escapes.
Thank you, Burrower. We present the Window of Opportunity, which is a temporary prefabricated fake facade with a depth of up to 2 metres, depending on the context. It is applicable to a variety of conditions in Melbourne CBD and other CBDs. As shown, it can be installed where there is a disused empty site or a site that is home to a derelict or vacant building that may or may not be set back from the street frontage. In its simplest form, it could be a facade of 1/2 metre in depth, which is wide enough to house interesting window displays. This would be suitable for busy footpaths where users have limited space to spill out onto the street. The fake facade will address the numerous and complex issues overwhelmingly faced by derelict sites in Melbourne, particularly those concerned with safety. As shown, the facade will clearly demarcate the distinction between private and public space. The unclear ownership of space can be conducive to antisocial activity, and so the facade will enhance safety. The facade will also fill in the gap teeth scenario depicted and complete the continuation of the building edge. In doing so, it will eliminate possible entrapment spots that can be dangerous and scary with unclear sightlines and poor lighting at night. Most of all, the Window of Opportunity will activate the street by adding life back into the derelict and dead spaces. Active frontages are used by the City of Melbourne to add vibrancy to the street and enhance safety. Active frontages enable passive surveillance, or eyes on the street, whereby people inside buildings informally supervise the outside activity through windows and openings, and such play an important role in safety. A facade with a 2 metre depth could allow users within the windows to spill out onto the street. Shown above is an abstract mock-up of what these facades could look like. This example demonstrates only one of the many possibilities. For example, the gelati store on the left could occupy the space for up to 3 months due to the fit-out entailed, whereas the booth on the right is less structured with minimal fit-out costs, and therefore the use could change daily. Screens could be placed within the windows for organisations to quickly set up their displays and advertising. This is great because the space is conducive to dynamic uses, and as such the windows will not become stagnant. Additionally, the screens, which have the potential to be interactive, could stay on after the window is closed to add interest to the street and provide subtle lighting for safety at night. In this example, the site has been deemed safe, and as such, the facade can be opened up during the day to reveal the dynamic community uses behind it. The common scenario would involve gutting the derelict building and turning it into another pop-up shop. However, our idea is different and innovative because it addresses negative urban design issues created by derelict sites. It responds to these complexities, and as such, it isn't a superficial intervention. It can be implemented in a short time frame. It is adaptable to the specific site conditions, such as whether the site is an empty block or already built upon. It is portable. which means that the fake facade can be transferred from a site when it becomes right for development and installed on the next site. This makes it responsive to the market and to the city's needs.
Okay, great. That's fantastic, but I see that you really want to involve the community in this idea, and I'm interested to know how you plan on doing this.
Sure, thanks Jen. Community involvement in the design and running of the treehouse is essential to its success. We want the Melbourne community to be a part of the story, to take ownership and be a key driver for the project. And this will start early. Through discussions with the local council, community and interest groups, we will identify what's important, what's needed and how best to get there. We will talk about what will go in it and where the opportunities are to develop in the future. Now, while some funding for the project would come through the already increased council rates for the unused building, social media will be used to help drum up support from local businesses, individuals and the community residents themselves. These can donate supplies, they can donate funding, but also some of their time. Similar concepts, be it the reuse of derelict buildings, has been done quite successfully in other places like Newcastle, Adelaide and Gold Coast. But what we're proposing is something more fluid, with a primary focus on providing a free space for people to express themselves and a cheap space for community initiatives and small businesses looking to get off the ground. Groups or individuals will go online, they will book a space for up to 3 months. They can put forward ideas and suggestions for ways to improve and add to the site. For example, it could be a dedicated performance stage or a street library, community coffee run shop, all great ideas. And our team will be there to offer startup support and business coaching for all those involved. We would actively seek out arts groups, performers, local Indigenous groups, women's groups, and existing programs such as Street Cafe, which is run by disengaged youth, all to get involved and to bring some life back into the dead spaces in our city.
Thank you for that. You touched very briefly there on funding. I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more.
Thanks, Jan. Funding will be sourced from the derelict site owner through the increased council rates, which is actually current practice. The council then collect all the funds and distribute it to the Window of Opportunity management team, who will then oversee all aspects of funding through the entire life cycle. The site manager then engages with the council, community, local governments and other local community groups via our consultation framework to identify the community needs, raise awareness, raise revenue and manage the site. There will also be an opportunity for local community groups or NGOs to set up a retail space on our temporary facade. All costs will be funded through this retail group. Revenue generated on the site will also be used to cover marketing, infrastructure and development costs. Legal and insurance fees, such as public liability cover, will be shared with the owner of the site. Based on this type of derelict site and the property, we propose a 3 to 6 month lease that ultimately allows the user to change all superficial aspects of the building, not the structural aspects, before it's then rolled over for the next person to come and use the space.
What a well thought out idea, guys. I'm sold. If you'd like to come up and briefly sum up the idea.
Sure. Just quickly, we see plenty of opportunity for disused buildings and blocks across Melbourne. Here at Window of Opportunity, we believe that by planting a seed, we can help transform these empty spaces into full and inspiring community tree houses. Thank you.